Hello. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, we are here. We are live. Thank you for everyone who has joined us right now. I'm looking forward to discussing today's topic. Let me fix a few things. Let's give other members, other viewers a chance to catch up. We'll start in a couple of minutes. I hope everyone's having a good day, good week. Not a lot of data this week. And uh, we are still in the aftermath, or actually we're still in the middle of the reactionary period for the Israel Hamas war. So just checking the market. If you want to see, guys, here's the current outlook for gold. So a bit of a few jumps here and there, a few movement, but still trending upward for gold. I'm sure some of you are still into watching into the gold markets or the US markets. Um, Looking forward to, um, although it's not something that we'll be discussing much today, it's something that we should continue getting into, continue looking forward to into, because every movement in the market, every news that we get is an opportunity for us. So, so a couple more minutes before everyone. But if, while we're waiting, for those who are already watching, I'd like to discuss with you the topic for today, what we'll be discussing. This one is today's topic is somewhat interesting because it's gonna be a lot of information. The information I might share with you is a bit abstract, so you could use this information not just in trading, but in it could apply also in business, or it could also apply in other aspects of your life. So we will be discussing trading goals. What are your goals? How do you want to trade? Why do you want to trade? Um, those type of things. So uh, like I said from the previously, during the previous week, we every person has a different goal in mind, different plan on why they want to trade. So our job or our role here is to just help you guys out in figuring out what's the best way to help to make trading a lifestyle for you. So in order to do that, we'll be sharing some type of esoteric ideas or other things to help you guys out. So we'll be discussing a few goals to give you an idea. We'll be discussing the significance of some trading goals, why trading goals are more important than others, why would you choose one over the other, the types. There is financial for those who are really want. I'm assuming that a lot of you guys, or majority of people, will be getting into the currency trading or CFD trading because of the financial goals. Welcome, everyone. That's one of the best, probably, decisions you're gonna be making. Skill development also is an aspect that you want to get into, because if you want to check out, you might want to learn how to use this line, or for example, trading using this pattern. Why would you want to use this in compared to this, in comparison to this? So you might want to, we'll get into a few details about getting into charting and understanding how to move the market, why the market moves the way it moves. So we'll get into a bit of that later. So yes, so some of the details could help you out. So for those who want to, there's a bit of information with regards to skill development, not in depth, but at least you get the idea why people might enjoy that part of the business. Uh, and for some of you, there's actually an aspect with regards to trading that allows you to develop yourself. So it's a rare occurrence for some people to enjoy this part, but and it's not normally the first thing you would think of when you think of trading, but personal development, there is an aspect of personal development when you start trading in the financial market. As you know, trading in the financial market or any currency market or any CFD is very risky, and there's a chance that you might lose your money. So, a big part of the trading and making money in trading is psychological or emotional. So, being able to control that and bring that into this business, once you've trained yourself in that, you will be able to train yourself also using that skill set to other businesses, to your business, if for those who are running their own business. Or so for guys, feel free to say hi if you have any questions. Other things that we'll be discussing, there's also we'll also be discussing some tracking and probably ideas on how to monitor your goals. And lastly, we'll be discussing also adapting your goals to your current state. Because as you grow into the business, you will be changing as a person. You might change your so your goals will be changing as well. So looking forward to having you guys in the long run for trading in the market. So, why do we want to have goals beforehand? Um, there's a book. I think it was I don't know, it might be Zig Ziglar or something. It's Seven Habits, and it says that always have the end in mind. So whenever you trade, make sure that, for example, you always have an exit or entry point in the strategy. So even if I like this position, I might not want to do it there, but having the end in mind gives you an opportunity to go into the market and then trade with the market as well. So, so a couple of significant ideas why you want to have goals in yourself is you have clarity and purpose. You might want to understand why you want to have this goal, why you want to have, why are you in the market in the first place. Having an idea of what you want to do, what you want to make, and just the general feel. And now I know that some of you are starting off, and some of you are not yet into the long term view of why you want to get into the market. Maybe the goal is just to try. That in itself is already a goal for yourself. You want to try and see if the currency market or currency trading is CFD trading is already for you. So that is a goal that you can do. Another thing is can have it gives you motivation and it helps you with your decision making. If you get into the market with a certain amount of money, it depends on how much money you are willing, or for those people who are willing to get into the market, and then let's say you consider the money spent already, and so it's a different mindset, so it's a different goal compared to a person who gets into the market but doesn't save, or I mean doesn't want to lose that money that's into the market. So he might have a different goal compared to another person. So it gives you clarity on your decisions, on your pathway towards which trades you want. You want a big ticket trade, or you want a small multiple trades. Again, it gives you a lot of ideas and a lot of factors to consider, but having an end goal will allow you to backtrack and look at things from a perspective that, okay, this is my goal. I using this goal as a perspective, I can choose where to move away. It also and having also goals will allow you to what they call this, have emotional control, since you already know, for like the example that I gave, since you already know that, for example, you the money, let's say you put in $10,000 and you are willing to lose all of that money, certain trades won't scare you now. Unlike, for example, if so even if the market swings huge against you, and but your goal is not about making money, but it's about learning about trading, so it's a different idea. And then, for example, you also have $10,000, and let's say your goal is to grow as much money as you can. Um, some positions or some risk management uh, risk management positions will allow you to put in positions wherein you get this much profit and lose only a little. So uh, again, depends on the person. It depends on your goals. So so types of trading goals we have, like I said earlier, we got financial goals. I'm assuming that 99% of people will be into the market for financial reasons. So this is for everyone else. There's skill based. These are for people who are looking into getting to the market in the long run. So initially, I'm assuming that, like myself, I went into the market because I like the idea of making money and gives me an opportunity or another way to get into the market. This one, for skill-based goals, you might have you might be enjoying already, you might already be in the market, trading already in the market, but you want to get good with charting. Let's say you want to get good with choosing your resistance or choosing your support levels. Say before you would put it here, but and then you adjust it here, or in the future you might understand how to use this RSI, or you might understand how to use CCD, or where's MACD. So it depends on your goals, on what you want to get out of it. And like I said earlier, it also allows you to it also allows you for some personal development goals, like facing the challenges, learning the fear, having the mindset and emotional control during the trading hours, having focus. It helps you to become more stable and more rational and more stoic when it comes to your decisions, when it comes to trading. And again, every single one of these things can be applied to other aspects, but when it comes to trading, it's a huge help. It's a huge boost in helping you making decisions and making trades for your ideas. So I'm sure a lot of you are into have a lot of business ideas already, and I've encountered SMART goals. Now, this could be applicable to you here in trading. So, I'll let's just do a quick recap with SMART goals, which is specific, measurable, attainable, uh, relevant, and time bound. So having the goal of just, for example, I want to make money isn't enough. So you might want to consider making your a specific amount. Let's say I'll make $10 in a week, or $20 in about 1 week. So you might want to focus on that idea to make the goal more realistic and more applicable to you, and it becomes more it has more emotional value for yourself. Now, for goals, now I know that a lot of people are already familiar with SMART goals, but recently I've encountered that some people have updated the idea, and we also make the goals smarter, which means we can give, after having a specific, measurable, attainable, reliable, and time-bound idea, you also have to evaluate your goals. Always look back on your goals, see what can be improved upon, how well you are doing with are you hitting the markers, are you hitting the targets that you put yourself into, and then make sure that you always have to be willing to revise or readjust your goals depending on how you feel, because sometimes we don't know what sometimes we think that we want to make $100 in the market, but our capital isn't enough to be able to handle that type of leverage. So we have to be more realistic, or we have to keep adjusting and keep learning when it comes to trading in the market. So that's a bit of an overview with regards to trading goals and having a few goal ideas for you guys. So I understand that this is a bit esoteric. The thoughts are not specifically meant for just trading, but these are things that I believe are very helpful in helping you guys out, and I hope that you guys are getting ideas, or at least getting an insight on how we here in helping out in trading within the markets. So right now we'll be discussing. Okay, fine. All right, guys. Since I know that most of you are got into the market because of financial trading goals, let's dive into that one. So why is it that you guys chose to trade in the market? So again, financial goal is very noble aspect, or very noble idea that you want to trade into and get into the market. So you have to understand that the monetary aspect, although it's probably the biggest factor of why we are trading and why we love to trade and the excitement of trading, we also have to consider other aspects that you have to look into. So for financial goals, you want to break it down. So you might want to look at it's again going back to having a smart goal or smarter goal. Let's say your goal is to make $100 in 2 days. You have to get into or consider the amount of money that you have, or amount of capital that you have. For example, $100 might be easy for somebody who has $100,000 is as their starting account. But if you only have $1,000, $100 might be, I wouldn't say impossible, but it would be a challenge, considering $100 is like 0.1% of $10,000, but it's like 10% of $1,000. So always factor in the computation, or more on percentages when it comes to goal setting with regards to trading in the market. Also consider your risk management. For those who have again, for those who have $100,000, they they have a lot more leeway when it comes to playing around with their money, so they have more uh, usage with their leverage. They can play with the money more. But for those who have a smaller amount of money, they might want to consider lessening the leverage. Instead of the standard one lot, you might want to consider trading with just half a lot. So trading with half a lot is a lot easier than uh, uh, it might not sound much, but in the long run, it will help you because you can always make money in the market. And losing money, when you lose money in the market, you'll probably leave the market. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep staying in the market as long as possible because the market always turns in your favor once you know how to trade. Now, you also have to manage some expectations when it comes to your ideas with the trading. And sometimes we get hooked with one currency pair because one of the things that is uh, usually suggested is learn a currency pair first before trading, but after a while, you might consider other currency pairs. So, for example, let's say this is how you get started into the market. You got started with gold. You got really excited with trading gold. But then you put in a wrong position and then the market swift change to your side. You might want to, and also gold is a highly volatile market. So you might want to consider not starting with gold, or if you're going to start with gold, make sure you're owning micro lots. But again, it depends on the amount of capital that you'll be starting with. So you might want to consider that. And then you feel free, you can always, once you're in the market, you can always look at other markets. Like for the example, USDJPY, you can see there's a lot less movement. But from a risk tolerance perspective, the range from here to here is only 1,000 pips, so is a lot less risky compared to trading gold. So this one is the pound. You might see a different trend if you, or you might see different opportunities with looking at the pound. You might want to look at also other currency pairs that has a lot of opportunities. So do not get stuck with do not get stuck with the currency pair or the trading or the commodities that, or the CFD that you got you started in. Make sure that you are always open to opportunities to switch to other currency pairs or to other ideas. Now, since we're talking about money, we want to make sure that we are using proper risk management, because like I said, no trade is 100% guaranteed. You could have done all of the studies, you could have been correct in all of your ideas and all of your research, but sometimes the trade that you got into is, you might be wrong, or you might be too early, or you might be too late. Or there's also a possibility that your stop loss was hit just before the market changes, or the take profit just was a few pips before hitting. So, proper risk management and proper risk tolerance is advised with regards to your trading with your money. Now, risk management is already an entire topic in and of itself. So I will only share with you a few things. So to help you out, maybe just a brief overview of the ideas or thoughts that we get into when it comes to trading. So you have to understand your risk capacity. Again, it depends per person. You might have a huge amount of money compared to, or a small amount of money, but it doesn't matter. What the goal is, are you ready to risk everything, or are you willing to risk half of it, or are you willing to risk only 20%? It again, it depends on you, depends on your goal, on how you want to trade in the market. So think about those things before actually, hopefully before actually putting in a position. Now, with that in mind, it gives you an idea of whether or not you can be aggressive in the market or you can be a bit passive. So last week we discussed the some time frame ideas. Why would you choose one time frame over the other? So if you already know your goal, for example, you are willing to risk 100% of your capital. You don't, it's like you consider it a lost money and you're here for the long run and you're here to trade. So even if you trade multiple times in a day and uh, as long as every single trade you are learning from and not just trading for the sake of trading, you will get something out of it in the long run. Later, we'll be discussing journaling and how to reevaluate every single trade idea. So later we'll get deeper into that, but having the understanding of what your risk tolerance is with regards to your money will allow you to be will allow you for to give idea on which trades you want to get into. It also helps with your what do you call this, your psychological aspect or mental aspect, that you won't have to worry about, because if you are sure that the money that you have is, for example, I'm only willing to risk 50%. So since you already know that you only risking 50%, once you make, for example, you make money and you make 10%, so you can be a bit more riskier with your movement or with your trades when it comes to your capital, because you've already made more money. But if you lost 10%, now we are going to a bit of a stress area because you lost a bit of money. So you have to adjust your mentality, you have to adjust the way you trade, and so it gives you idea of, but since you have the threshold of 50% from the original 100% capital, it gives you a leeway on what to do in the market, which trades to do in the market, how to adapt with the market. So that's it, mostly for financial goals. Later we'll have a recap. Feel free to ask whatever you want. Feel free to ask anything with regards to any of the type of goals. Um, but now we would like to get into skill development or skill trading, I guess, if you would like, or basically just getting better with regards to trading in the market. So going back to the idea that, let's say you are already in the market, you started with gold, and you don't know, all you know is buying, selling. Let's say you understand about stop loss and take profits and all of those things. And you've read a few things, you've already read the books and read or listened to all of the people. You might want to consider getting into more advanced techniques into the market. Now, skill development is probably a fun part, the fun part of it. Because when you start trading, there are certain rules that people are saying that you have to adhere to. For example, always have a stop loss whenever you trade and a take profit whenever you trade. Once you become skillful, you no longer have to follow any rules. You can do whatever you want in the market. So this is where once you reach this point where you're developing your skills in trading, it becomes a lot more fun, I guess, because you can do always make sure that you are honed in or you've perfected your fundamentals when it comes to trading. But once you're skilled in trading, feel free to break all of the rules and trade whatever style that you feel is best for you during that time. So, how do we get into that? And how do we set our mindset into getting into that level of skill that you don't have to adhere to any trading rules anymore? So, So first we have to learn, of course, we have to learn to read the charts. So let's look at the charts. For example, let's look at Euro USD. Now, when we look at the charts, we want to get into the ideas of recognizing patterns, and then understanding maybe the most basic if and the most important part is understanding how to put in a support and resistance levels. So even if there's a pattern, for example, this pattern here, you can see here, but if you can, even if we put a resistance, probably here, it's a good resistance. But it was a bit far from the usual. So you might want to get that, and then a bit of charting there. So again, these things you might want to look into, to focus on, and learning. Other factors that you want to get into is understanding the technical indicators, like for example the MACD. I would suggest for some of you, MACD is one of the most used indicator, as well as the RSI, this one. So you might want to look into that if you want to get better or focusing on getting better in reading indicators. So those two indicators are probably the most used. So also looking into those things, you might want to look at trends, how the market is moving. So for here, we see that USDJPY is trending within this range. So it gives you an idea of, maybe I can buy here, or I can sell here, or I can just wait for the market to go up, or to make the market to hit this resistance or hit the support levels. It allows you to move around. And then, of course, you want to check, for those of you who are really into the market, you want to check the volumes of the market. Sometimes volumes tell you if the market, how liquid the market is, and how huge the potential movement with the market is gonna be moving around. Yeah, so hope those are just a few ideas or a few goals that you want to get into. I would suggest I would suggest whenever you think of a specific chart or a specific indicator that you want to practice, make sure it's the only one you use, and then slowly use other charts or other indicators. If you like using the bands or the oscillators, feel free to use them. Just make sure that you use them um, initially on its own. Eventually, you'll have an idea of which indicators you think would best help you, and which indicators you think doesn't help you. So again, it's specific per, again, it's different per for every different trader. So you might want to think of, it's better to get a feel of everything, and then you'll understand, okay, I like this indicator, I like this idea, I like setting support this way, I like setting my resistances this way, I like setting my pitchforks whenever there's this pattern. So a few of those things will eventually show itself once you start focusing on skill development with your trading. So with that, you can also see that you also have a bit of risk management also, with helping out that type of uh, with that type of trading, because you'll have an idea of where you can get into the market. It basically, it manages your risk tolerance better, because you are already have the charts and you already have additional information when it comes to trading in the market. So next, we want to be discussing personal development goals. Now, this one is not exactly the type of thing you would think when you get into CFD trading. This is something that's caught me also by surprise when I got into trading. So, and but this one is probably the most helpful with regards to your overall aspect in your life, or will probably help you out the most in your general day-to-day life. So honestly, I haven't met anyone yet who went into the market whose goal is for personal development. But you'd be surprised once you get into the market for about a few months and maybe a year or less than a year, that the the training that you get from the market is something that cannot be cannot be compared to other trainings, or it could be used in other aspects, since just the psychology and being able to control your emotions, being able to become stoic and more powerful with regards to trading in the market, having the skill set with regards to controlling the market makes you a better person in general. So some aspects that you want to consider with regards to uh, trading is number one, of course, is your fear and your greed. Um, there's nothing like money just brings out different aspects of a person. So the more, it's better that you guys learn about yourselves with regards how you handle your fear or greed in the market, where it's a controlled environment, instead of being outside in the real world where people might actually get hurt. So I know a few people who, after a while trading in the market, they were able to handle stress a lot better in life, or handle their finances better in life, because they were able to use proper risk management in trading, and since they can manage their emotions in trading, they were able to bring it out into their real life. And I definitely see the improvement that they have with regards to how they were before to how they were after. Let me just remove some of these. Right there. So another aspect is probably the stress involved with regards to trading in the market. Again, these things can be overcome or can be trained, and that's why for some, maybe the monetary aspect is not the biggest thing, but being able to control your emotional state, or being able to manage stress, watching the market go down, or market watching the market go up. Sometimes our biggest enemies are ourselves. I know of a trader, for example, that they tend to have this bad habit of, whenever the market's losing, they do not want to get it. They have a bad habit also of not setting up their stop losses. So they always look into the market. So they have this bad habit of, whenever the market goes against them, they tolerate it a lot more, instead of but when the market goes with them, or they start winning the trade, they get out of the trade really fast. It's like they're willing to tolerate like up to 10% of their capital, but they're once they see the money, or once they see the money coming in for a few dollars only, or like less than $20-$30, they start getting out of the market, saying that it's better than losing. So that type of mindset is not a good mindset, because the risk reward ratio which again we'll be discussing a bit later. The risk reward ratio for that is very, very, and actually in the negative side, so if you think about it. So it's not a good way to trade, but eventually that person was able to understand the idea. I was able to explain to him the idea, why that's a bad way of looking at things, and slowly he just kept going at it, started controlling his emotions, started controlling his greed, and eventually he's a lot better now than he was before. So yeah. Now you also want to get into another aspect also of personal development that helps you with regards to your trading is your discipline. Having, for example, having a plan or having a game plan beforehand and just putting into the market, having a specific, uh, so let's say, for example, again, let's take an example for gold. Let's say your goal is let's say you plan on buying here at 1936 and then you plan on exiting at 1945 and your take losses around 1930. So having that, and just sometimes you're gonna see the market, you're gonna watch the market range for a while, and not doing anything about it gives you a lot better chance for uh, becoming a better trader in the long run. It also improves your strategy. It helps with your, it teaches you patience. Like let's go back to yen. Like, could you imagine if you went into the market here around this area? So it has been ranging for for a couple of weeks already. So again, for some people it's an easy fix, but for some you have to learn or you have to study to be able to adapt to that type of uh, movement in the market. So a few ideas to help you guys out with regards to um, controlling your emotions or having discipline. These are things that I try to do on a regular basis, but some things are not. So one thing is being able to meditate. So meditation has, I'm sure some of you already do, but meditation for some of you that don't, it helps you control some of the your focus and some of your ideas. Some might want to do some pre-trade rituals, make sure that there are rules, uh, take breaks. If you need help, get a mentor or get professional support. And probably one of the easiest one, or the, especially for 100% newbie, make a demo account and experiment with the demo account with your trading ideas before you get into the market, because you don't want to, because I'm guaranteeing you, if you start with your money and no, and without experience, you're gonna lose money just because of the psychological aspect of trading. Excuse me. uh Again, tell me if you guys have questions. I know this is there's not a lot of trading ideas for this topic, but it will help you in the long run. Considering, for example, people right now have been going crazy because of the Hamas Israel situation. So if you were able to take advantage of that, you would have made a lot of money already, especially with gold. So I mean, there's I mean, so if you stuck with the gold during that time, you would have made around almost 10,000 pips in movement if you were able to take advantage for 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 that. Okay, so excuse me. So since you have a goal already, since we have goals already, how do we improve or how do we track and monitor some of our progress with regards to trading and all of the aspects? Uh, right now, data collection or data gathering is very important because sometimes once you're in once you're in there, you might think you're doing something, but from a broader person point of view, you will see that you are totally doing a different thing. So having being able to journal everything, journal every trade, if you can write in your uh, the time you get in, the time you get out, what's your exit point, what's your entry point, how much pips you plan on getting, if you think this is you also want to put in notes if you want to get into why you got into this trade. Is it because of a fundamental reason? Is it because of a technical reason? You want to keep journaling everything to so that you can know about uh, what you plan to do with every specific goal. So once you view them again, once you review your goal, let's say at the end of the week, you'll be able to see the movement with, or you can see the overall mentality that you have with regards to trading in the market. So you also want to define some key metrics or key ideas that you want to practice. So having your goals written down allows you to see all of the things that you did for the week and make a review of everything. um this one also, if you can, not necessarily, because I'm not sure if everyone will be able to do this, but if you can mark down, let's say this specific, let's say goal number, I mean trade number 4 did not work out for you, how did you respond emotionally? You might want to jot that information down, because I'm guaranteeing you, whatever situation you were in the market, it's gonna happen again. And because a lot of the things in the market keep repeating itself, and so a lot of the things in the market have a habit of happening again. Maybe it's a different context, but it's still the same idea, same movement, but if you were able to review or write down in your journal what you did prior, you can make adjustments for when that opportunity arises again. So you also have to, now with all of your information, some of you hopefully do not have the ego that you might not want to get some feedback from other people, but getting feedback from other people, especially fellow traders or for fellow people who are still learning from trading, um, it's a good idea because other people see things that we do not. As humans, we tend to have a lot of blind spot with regards to ourselves. We think what we're doing is right, but having another person look into our point of view and looking at what we can do and looking at things from a different perspective helps us in changing our perspective as well, seeing it from their point of view, reframing our ideas, and hopefully again, it's always helpful to have other people's see into how you're trading and what you're getting and what movement you want to get into the market. So probably the last part about with regards to goals is having the idea of or being able to adapt with regards to certain situations, because as you know, the market tends to react to a lot of different factors. So we can discuss that maybe gold was already oversold before the Israel Hamas war, and then that just was one of the reasons why it was already going up, or we can also discuss the theory that the market could be already be going up, and it just the war just made it faster. The war just made the buying of the gold come faster. So that's something that we can. It's a good discussion to have, but the general thought or the general idea that you want to have is that have the adaptability and have the flexibility that if a situation in the market happens, you are able to maneuver with regards to what opportunities are there. So again, I keep going back to USDJPY because I like this pair because it's number one, it's very it's a liquid pair, and its movement is very slow, and its controlled movement allows us to take advantage of a few things. And another thing about USDJPY right now is it's a really high level, and it has a lot of fundamental potential, especially with Mr. Suzuki, the finance minister of Japan, discussing that they could potentially intervene with the market. So making sure that we are able to adapt with regards to um, uh, our style in the market, because as you stay in the market, as you go better, as you trade more, you become a better trader, uh, you become skilled in some aspect. You also want to be able to adapt to market conditions. Again, for example, if such a case happens that Japan decides to intervene, we expect this to move somewhere around the 147 area here, because this is uh, it's a better area for the USDJPY. So being able to prepare yourself for such a condition will allow you to be more flexible or and also make more money in the market. Also, I'd like you guys to consider some long-term ideas or a short-term goal. Remember that um, you can combine these two, the short-term goals versus long-term goals. A long-term goals could be uh, earning $10,000 in 10 years, and then just making sure that your short-term goals are slowly hitting until you reach your long-term goal in the long run. So having those two combine with each other, and with regards to it, especially with you being able and being more skilled in the market, being able to adapt, you'll able to hit more targets, more hits, more short-term goals. Eventually, you won't realize it. You're already hitting your big goal. So that's something that you want to get into. Never forget to always check your performance. Uh, Make sure that your strategies are always um, adapting. Also make sure that they're always moving with the market. um, there's no one surefire trade or one surefire style that would always work. So even if you find a certain idea, you might have to wait for a certain condition for that to happen. So it might take you longer for your certain goals, but if you have the flexibility or the adaptability to adjust, you can take advantage of more opportunities in the market. And also, make sure that you keep reviewing every single trade, every single idea, so that you would know that what are your goals, are your targets are being hit, or are your goals and targets not being hit. So having all of the data that you have, having all the information that you get, making sure that they become useful to you in the long run. So Um, thank you guys for joining us. Probably a few more things we can discuss before before closing into the day. Just a few tips or reminders for overcoming challenges that you face with regards to trading in the market. Um, Probably trading journal is number one. If you're gonna ask me, having a trading journal is it allows you to look at things after a while or from a different point of view, and then making sure that you set realistic expectations. Again, $100 trade might be realistic for somebody who has $100,000 account, but it might not be as realistic for somebody who has a $1,000 account. So, uh, expectation management, think of those things before setting, because that will help you a lot in your mindset and giving you an idea before everything. Um, Make sure that you continuously learn, keep listening, not just to me, keep listening to everyone. There's a ton of information out there with regards to Forex trading or just trading in general. A lot of information overlaps with, for example, crypto or stocks or other options trading or other securities. A lot of things interlap because the financial market tends to adjust and pull to each other, or traders tend to move money around from different markets to one another. So, so they're all connected into one huge web. So make sure that you're continuously learning, continuously updating yourselves with what's new in the market, so that will help a lot with you and for everyone that will be in the market. um, Make sure to take breaks. Do not push yourself too hard. I know we discussed that you might want to have a financial goal first and hitting that specific target, but uh, after you study, after you've recorded your stop loss and your take profit idea, once you've hit those numbers, when you punch them in, once you've opened your position, you don't have control of anything else. You'll just have to wait for the market afterwards. So don't beat yourself up if you're not hitting that specific target or that specific financial goal that you have yet. Make sure that you are taking breaks. And like I said, this is more, think of this as something that you can do on your pastime or can do in the long run, or as your retirement, or even when you're on vacation, you have a few minutes, you can just check in, log in, maybe put in a position or two. This is more of a lifestyle adjustment than an actual quick, uh, get rich quick thing. So trading in the market is more of, uh, it's a lot more fun once you're comfortable, once you know the risk and manage all of the. So if you guys, a few other information, uh, do not be afraid to get mentors. Um, a lot of mentors are out there. Feel free to ask them. A lot of people who have more experience than you. Exercise also for some. Strong bodies, strong mind. So it helps. I know a few traders that have a better trading tolerance with regards to whenever they compare the days that they worked out compared to the days that they don't work out. Um, and do not be afraid for small steps. So every small step is one step closer than yesterday. So like the general idea of 1% better every day is better than losing or not improving on anything. So that's it for most of the information. For a couple of days, tomorrow will be showing some live trading, and Friday might be something new, something different. So you might want to look into that. Uh, Guys, feel free to ask questions. But today, as a recap, we discussed a lot about our trading goals, having financial goals, skill-based goals, and personal development goals. Uh, how to take advantage, how to jot down information, how to improve on our goals, and hopefully the information that I shared with you guys helps you guys out in the long run. And next week we'll be discussing something different. So look out for that. So for now, thank you very much and have a good day.